Dinosaur Story. Animal Skull. Hi! This time, we are going to learn about the basic anatomy of the skull, focusing on modern animals. There's a lot to mention about the skull. So, this time, let's focus on living animals first. The dinosaur skull will be covered in the next story. All animal skeletons have the most suitable form for living. So, if you look at the skeleton of an animal, you can see whether it's herbivorous or carnivorous, and what kind of life pattern it has. Skeletons of modern animals are the starting point for dinosaur research. If you get used to the skeletons of modern animals, you can easily understand dinosaurs. The skull is the most important skeleton. It's an essential bone that not only protects the brain, but also allows animals to eat, breathe, and smell. And it's also important for dinosaur research because it has more species characteristics than any other bone. The skull is made up of many bones, and anatomical lines where the bony plates of the skull join are called sutures. The skull is largely divided into two parts, the neurocranium and the viscera cranium, depending on their function. Let's go through them in order. Neurocranium. The neurocranium surrounds and protects the brain. Overall, it is round and flat. It connects to the spine at the back. Let's look at the characteristic features of the neurocranium. Sagittal crest. The neurocranium of carnivores are rough and bumpy. This is because strong jaw muscles attach here. However, it is not obvious when the animal is young, and it gradually becomes clear as it grows. The painting is the process of the skull growth of a lynx. Pachynostosis. Head-butting dinosaurs like Pachycephalosaurus have very thick and hard top of the skull. The bone thickening is also found in other animals. The skulls of mammal-like reptiles such as Elamosaurus and Moscops are also very thick, exceeding 12 centimeters in thickness. Frills. There are birds and mammals whose skulls have developed in the shape of crests or horns. These structures are called frills. The animals with the most developed frills are herbivorous dinosaurs. In particular, the ceratopsians had very nice frills. Auditory bulla. Cats have bulging bones under their ears, which are called auditory bulla. It's a structure to listen to sound well. This structure is not found in dinosaurs. The skull shape is mostly symmetrical. However, the skull of the boreal owl is very asymmetrical. It's because the position of the left and right ears is different. They can detect the difference of a thousandth of a second when sound reaches both ears, so they can accurately locate the prey by sound alone. Foramen magnum. The skull has a hole that connects to the spine. In four-legged lemurs, the skull connects to the spine posteriorly, but in gorillas, chimpanzees, and humans, the skull connects to the spine downward. Judging by the location of the hole, we can see how upright the animal can walk on 2 feet. Viscera cranium. The viscera cranium is the bones that include the eyes, nose, and mouth, which are indispensable parts of life. It is much more complex than the neurocranium, and varies in shape depending on the type of food. It is also called the facial bones. There is another reason for the complexity of the viscera cranium. When an animal suffers from head trauma, facial bones are broken easily to absorb the impact and protect the more important brain. It is like protecting the driver by absorbing the shock as crumple zones are crushed in a car accident. Orbit. The hollow part where the eyes are located is called the orbit. Animals that are mainly active at night have large eyes. Herbivores can see their surroundings well because their eyes are located outward. On the other hand, Carnivores' eyes are in the front, so they can see their prey in 3 dimensions. Paranasal sinuses. There are many empty spaces in dinosaur skulls. This structure makes the skull lighter and stronger. There are also similar spaces in modern animals, such as horses and dogs and human skulls. Nostrils. What animal skull is it? It may be difficult, but you can tell by looking at the tusk. Yeah, it's a mammoth skull. Then, what kind of structure is it in the middle? It's a nostril. However, at first glance, it looks like the orbit. So in the past, the skull of a mammoth was often mistaken for a one-eyed monster. Animals with high nostrils, such as elephants and mammoths, have long noses. Modern tapirs also have long noses, so their nostrils are open high. The nostrils of the Cenozoic mammal Macrochania are also located higher than the eyes. So, scholars assume that their nose must have been very long. The nostrils of sauropod dinosaurs such as Diplodocus and Apatosaurus are also located very high. So, did they also have long trunks like elephants? There are also claims that they breathed underwater with only their nostrils out of the water. But we don't know why their nostrils are up there yet. What do you guys think? Jawbone. The jawbone is part of viscera cranium. But let's look at it separately. The lower jaw meshes with the upper jaw to allow the animal to eat. Of course, it is also involved in making sounds and breathing. S-shaped jawbones. Modern crocodiles, primitive crocodilians such as Dinosuchus, and dinosaurs such as Baryonyx and Spinosaurus have S-shaped jawbones. This form is effective in biting prey. In a flat jawbone, the back teeth engage first, and then the front teeth gradually engage. But, in a curved jawbone, almost all the teeth mesh at the same time. Long snout. Plesiosaurs such as Ichthyosaurus and Thelilua and modern dolphins have long snouts and densely packed teeth. This form is effective in biting fish without missing it. This is called convergence when they have similar appearances, even though they are different animals. Mandibular phalanges. Saber-toothed tigers like Thylacolus, Eusmelus, and Barbarophales had very long fangs. To protect these long canine teeth, the lower part of the jawbone is developed long. This structure is called the mandibular phalange. Jaw movement. The movement of the jaw varies according to the animal lineage. In fish, reptiles, and birds, all the bones move separately, so they can open their jaws very wide. But in mammals, all the bones are tightly attached so that they can move precisely around the jaw joint. Dinosaur quiz. Which of the following structures is not part of the visceral cranium? Number 1 eyeball. Number 2 nostrils. Number 3 jawbone. Number 4 frill. The answer is frill. The viscera cranium is the part that contains structures for seeing, smelling, and feeding. The frill is a structure that develops primarily from the neurocranium. That's it for today. See you next time. Thank you.